Welcome to Build Your Maverick Business, the podcast for underdog, outlier, and renegade entrepreneurs. Brought to you by Strange Creative Studio. If you dream of going off on your own and launching your rebel empire, but don't know where to start, you're in the right place. We'll teach you how to use mindset, branding, and practical advice to build a killer business and transform your world. And now, here's your host, founder of Strange, Alex Pitt.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning from where I am anyway. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on what time you're listening to this. It's first thing in the morning, and I have two confessions for you this week. Firstly, I am still in my pajamas. I set my alarm this morning so that I'd get up and go for a nice walk, because I am trying to be a bit more healthy after what was quite an indulgent summer. I'm not going to lie to you. I had a lovely time, but yeah, my waistline isn't thanking me. So yeah, my intention was to get up and go for a walk, and it did not happen. So here I sit with my second coffee in my dressing gown, but you didn't really need to know that, but can't say I'm not honest with you. Now, the second confession I have is that I've had this in my notes to talk to you about for a little while, and I've bumped it down the list and I've bumped it down the list. And the reason is that I'm actually quite embarrassed about the story that I'm going to tell you today. I'm actually a little bit ashamed of it, or at least I have been for the last couple of years. And now I think I've gotten to the place where enough time has passed, time heals all wounds, especially in business. And I feel like, you know what? It's time. Alex, stop being a wuss. Just talk about that one thing that happened a little while ago that you're still a bit embarrassed about. So I'm going to tell you this story, and then I'm going to go on to why this is such a terrible thing, and that I'm so glad I can see the wood for the trees now, and I can see what I was doing. And I'm going to ask you a few prompts in a bit to see if this is something that you're guilty of, okay? So first of all, the story that I'm going to start with today begins with what Strange was actually meant to be when it first launched. Now, we work with lots and lots of different clients in lots of different industries, and the variety is magnificent and I love it. But that wasn't actually how it started, right? When I started Strange, it was actually meant to be a branding and creative agency that catered exclusively to the craft beer and drinks industries. Okay, that was what it was meant to be. I only wanted to work with craft beer startups, new breweries, and new distilleries. Do you know the reason why? Because I thought they were cool. So much of the reason why I started Strange was because I felt so weighed down by the work that I was doing. And I hadn't really allowed myself to enjoy it and really enjoy it and feel like I was doing something that just lit me the fuck up and that I wanted to leap out of bed in the morning to do. Now, you've heard me talk about my love for Beavertown neck oil. I thought that these companies, like the Brewdogs, the Beavertowns, Signature, they were like the coolest companies ever. And I just wanted to build this business that catered to really cool companies. Okay. Now, this is Alex from 2 years ago. And in lots of ways, I'm going to explain to you how much she has grown as a person. But yeah, that was the first one. I just thought, you know what? I love these industries. I think they're so much fun. And I would love to immerse myself and my career in that. Find the new Beavertown, find the new Brewdog, and be the one that brings their brand to life. So that was the vision. So I am not but, one person sat in my bedroom in West London at the time during the pandemic. So I was contending with some quite big agencies. And I thought to myself, how do I get the attention of the next big craft brewery? How am I going to do that? So I thought about some little sort of marketing techniques. And in the end, I thought, well, I want to create beer cans, beer bottles. I'm going to make a Strange beer. I'm going to make our own beer, and I'm going to create something which is very much a marketing tool. It's very much a gift to put in front of the people that I would like to consider working with us. And I'm going to make it really geared towards them to tell them what we do so that they will be like, wow, this is nice. I can have a little drink later and consider how much work I'm going to put Strange's way, right? This was the dream. This was the idea. So I worked really hard on this. I created what I thought was a wonderful beer label. I still actually love it. I think it looks cool as fuck. I put the strange tagline on there, the Dr. Zeus inspired strange tagline, which is "You have to be odd to be number one. Stand out from the crowd by being a weirdo, guys." I wrote this blurb on the back, which was all about how, we don't make beer, we leave it to you, but we do design labels. We do design the packaging, and we do bring brands to life. I put a QR code on there, which took them straight to a landing page, which was all about the work that we do. This was really well thought out. I was really proud of it. And I found this company that did bespoke beer printing, beer label printing, and I ordered a load of bottles and they arrived and I was so proud of them. I was like, this is so cool. I love it. I got some gift bags, some tissue paper, all black, obviously. And I created a spreadsheet of my targets of places that I was going to visit, some of the beer mile in Bermondsey, some of these like local small breweries. And I was going to try and get our name out there. Now, before I did that, I'm doing it in air quotes right now, guys, my air quotes. I wanted to get the word out there by putting this into some Facebook groups. Okay, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Me wanting to get the word out and wanting enough people to see this online. So I posted in a few Facebook groups, and in the Facebook groups that were dedicated more to branding and marketing and business, this beer went down like a fucking firestorm. Like, everyone was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, absolutely love it. That the brand is so strong, the message is so strong, you're going to go so far. I remember one woman in particular used that phrase, you are going to go so far with this brand. And I was so fucking excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually doing what I want to do. This is great. Yeah, it went down really, really well. And I was really encouraged. I felt really good about what I'd done and all the work that I put into it. I was like, this is a good thing. Now, I'd also been lurking in some craft beer groups, as you do. In fact, one of my friends who actually owns a few pubs commented on it and was just like, why are you lurking in all of these craft beer groups, you weirdo? And I was like, all comes back to business, darling, all comes back to business. Anyway, so I posted the same thing that I posted in these other branding and marketing groups. And I said, hey, everyone, we have created our own beer. What do you think? Now, this is where it starts to unravel. So suddenly the first comment came in. Now, the first comment, I can laugh about it now. I can. A gentleman in this group, that is putting it very politely, a gentleman in this group took me through a visualization. Imagine that you're looking in your fridge. You've opened your fridge and you're looking at a shelf full of craft beers. Now, your label doesn't have the type of beer and the percentage on the front section of this beer. So how am I going to know which beer I'm selecting? How am I going to know? Basically, he said it was shit. He went around, told me that this wasn't a good label, and then he said, yeah, no, doesn't work. Right? One random guy, like one amateur beer fan. He was a craft beer enthusiast. He's not a professional. He's not a brewery owner. He's just a guy who likes beer. Right? He told me that beer was not a good consumer product. Okay? Bearing in mind, this was never meant to be a consumer product. This was just a marketing thing. It was just to get the attention of some founders. He told me it was shit. And what I should have done is thought about all the things that I just said, right? This isn't for him. And do you know what? Some people might not think this is great, but I think it's fantastic. And I know that it's going to get the attention of the people that I want to work with, right? It's going to be a really good showcase for who Strange are and what we do. But do you know what I did? I deleted the post. I was shaking like a shitting dog because I was so horrified at how awful a job I'd done. And oh God, thank Christ that this random man on the internet just pointed out to me that I'd done a bad job. So I deleted the post. I took all of my, I think it was like 70 or 80 beer bottles, and I put them in storage. They never saw the light of day. I got rid of my spreadsheet. I've still got all the gift bags in my cupboard that I use when I actually give random people gifts. That project never saw the light of day. I say that, eventually when we moved flat, they got drunk very slowly, which again, waistline not thanking me. But yeah, I was really, really, really proud of what I'd done until Johnny Mansplain on the internet told me it was shit. and I threw the whole thing out. And do you know why I did that? Because I believed that random guy more than I believed myself and my gut and my own intuition. Okay? Now I'm going to come back to something that I said earlier, which is that I was posting in those Facebook groups because I wanted to, air quotes, get the word out there. Now, fortunately, I've come a long way since 2020, and it does now make me chuckle to think about the comment that guy made. Like, just ridiculous. So irrelevant. It's not even the fact that he said what he did. It's the fact that Alex from 2020 took that so badly, right? She was trying so hard to put things out there and be brave, but she still had a lot of work to do. Okay, now 2022 Alex doesn't suffer wankers in Facebook groups. Whee! And I know exactly what went wrong there. And that thing is, I was doing business by committee. Okay, so when I said that I was putting things in Facebook groups because I was trying to, air quotes, get the word out there, that's not really what was happening. And I can see that now. What was really happening was I was putting stuff out there because I was hoping for permission and approval from as many people as possible so that I could decide that this thing was a good idea. Right? I was posting in Facebook groups to get permission and approval from strangers because I didn't trust myself and my own authority to make a decision, to do something in my business. So I'm going to give you these prompts now. I'm going to ask you a few questions. And if you answer yes to any one of these or all of them, you may be as guilty as I was of doing business by committee. So first up, have you ever had a colleague or a friend or a spouse, a partner, read an email before you send it to make sure that it's okay? I think we've all done that one, haven't we? Let's be honest. Start off easy. Okay, next up, have you ever asked a group of peers, friends, family, colleagues, whatever, how much you should charge for a product or service? Even if you have a figure in your head, you go to this group and you say, do you think this sounds okay? Bear in mind, by the way, I am guilty of every single one of these. Otherwise, I would not know to put them in here. We're all in it together, loves. Have you ever resisted taking a leap in your business or career if you don't feel enough people agree that it's a good idea? Have you ever made a decision and then backed down when someone didn't approve? Now, if any of that made you think, oh God, fuck yes. I mean, same, to be honest. You might be doing business by committee. Okay, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you listen to this podcast regularly, you'll know I did a whole episode on networking and the importance of having a sounding board for advice and information. Okay, I have networks of experts that I call on for all sorts of things, from recommendations to professional advice to just a bit of support when I'm having a shit day. Now, the crucial difference between having a strong network to doing business by committee is whether or not you trust yourself and your own authority. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Do you trust yourself and your own authority? Or are you looking for permission and approval? Even more than that, do you believe that you have made the best choice even if it doesn't work out the way that you thought it would? The thing about being a Maverick founder is you're not in this to play by the rules. You have to trust yourself that you have everything in you to make the right decisions. And further than that, to be bloody nice to yourself if it turns out that the decisions that you made weren't right. Because we can only ever do what we can with the information that we have. We can't see into the future. We can't predict what's going to happen. All we can really do is trust our gut and know that we are the best person for this job. We've started this, we're building this, and we should know that we are the ones who are going to see it through. Not a fucking survey of approval from various other people, because all that's going to do is dilute what you're trying to achieve. It's going to dilute your message and your mission and your values and everything, because no two people are the same. Okay, if you try and go and get the approval of as many people as possible, you are going to put the most beige shit out into the universe. Please, my darlings, no more business by committee. Trust yourself. You are the best person for this job. All right, my loves. Emotional rant over. I will catch you all here next time.
Got an idea for a Maverick business of your own? Learn how to build a powerful brand that will get people obsessed with our online program, not just a pretty logo. You'll learn a simple step-by-step framework that will kickstart your killer brand and help you find your raving fan base. Find out more today at strangecreativestudio.com.